On August 11th, Trump issued a crime emergency in Washington, D.C. He specifically says there's an increase in violent crime. As you're about to see, his solemn duty is based off of unrealistic conflations between Washington, D.C. and the U.S. Broadly speaking, he's done two things. Firstly, he's mobilized the D.C. Police Force and National Guard to the maximum amount of time possible, which is 30 days. He's also delegated mayoral responsibilities to the Attorney General. This is, at the very least, bordering on martial law. And just to clarify, martial law is a temporary rule by military authorities of a designated area in time of emergency when the civil authorities are deemed unable to function. Trump has deemed the local authorities unable to function, which is why the Attorney General has been put in place. And he's also activated the military power he has at his disposal to deal with this emergency. In terms of rationale, there's 3 key points. Firstly, it says that DC has the highest robbery and murder rates of any other state. It's important to remember that Washington, D.C. is entirely urban, so it's unreasonable to compare it to other full states when they have these huge swaths of land that are completely empty. If you compare DC to places with similar population density, you can see that its robbery and homicide rate is completely reasonable. Trump also says that DC has the highest vehicle theft rate. Using their own data point of 842 thefts per 100,000 residents, DC would be placed 5th on a list of actual cities. Not to mention, vehicle theft rates were down in 2024 with the largest statistical decrease in 41 years. Lastly, Trump says DC is in the top 20% of most dangerous cities in the world. Population Review lists 4 U.S. cities in the top 50 worst for crime, the highest being St. Louis, Missouri at 15. If he actually cared about these crime rates, he'd be gunning for Missouri before he did anything else. Trump also referenced 3 politically motivated attacks that happened recently in DC that also motivated this response from him. The first one was in May when 2 embassy staff were murdered. These were 2 Israeli embassy members, and the gunman was very adamantly pro-Gaza and Palestine. Not to condone his actions, but this was a politically charged event that was based on condemning the genocide in Gaza, so this is an extraneous situation. If Trump actually cared about that event, he could just stop arming Israel. Secondly, in June, a congressional intern was shot and killed. This is a tragic event, but evidence suggests that he was not the intended target, and so acting in this excessive manner is unreasonable. And lastly, earlier this month, a Trump admin staff was beaten up by a violent mob. This violent mob was a group of 15-year-olds, and the dude that was beaten up was the big balls guy from Doge, so I don't think anyone really cares. I think it's kind of funny. He was also out driving at 3 in the morning with his girlfriend, and also he was walking outside of his vehicle because he was beaten up outside of his car. So I feel like he made a lot of pretty stupid decisions. I feel like doing anything at 3 in the morning in a densely populated city is kind of just not that smart. This also prompted Trump to say we should start prosecuting children as adults starting at the age of 14. Honestly, if you're that scared of children that you need to bring the National Guard in to reinforce the police, I don't really know what to say. It just seems so obviously pathetic that I don't really think there's any reason to expand on anything. In terms of what the National Guard are actually doing in DC, it's really hard to discern any tangible benefit that they're providing. Caroline Leavitt said that 52 arrests were made on Tuesday the 19th, and DC usually arrests 61 people on average, so even through the White House's rhetoric, the National Guard is failing completely. I think the really troubling thing to think about is what happens next. It's been reported that Trump is trying to expand his martial law to Chicago and then New York. Trump is just trying to illegally enforce martial law in every city that isn't just blindly following him. Every military official that's being asked to follow through with these orders should remember that they have a duty to disobey. This is a fascist, authoritarian dictator. We do not need to listen to every fucking sentence he says.